Oh, really? Were you nervous when you got married? You got nothing to worry about here, right?
He's always the nervous one.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. I have permission from the folks standing in line to get drinks to go ahead and get started, so I would like to do that. I'm George Masters. I'll be your MC for tonight, and if there's any problems, please wait till the end. I ask you to please silence all your electronic devices for us. We're proud members of the Air and Space Forces Association and celebrate its patriotic history. I'd like to introduce our chapter president, Mr. James Bowman Jr., if you would come forward, please. Thank
you, George. So, I have the great honor and privilege to say I represent the local chapter, the Jones chapter of the Air and Space Force Association, and I've been doing this for a couple of years, and they have, my team, which is in this room, has been phenomenal in representing our organization to the base, the 91st, and the 5th Bomb Wing, the supporting agencies, and the Minot community, our leadership, mayor, and city council. Thank you very much for all of the people that are here, that have come to support us as we support the base. That is our mission, is to provide education support to the people who are in Minot Air Force Base, and we really do appreciate all of you and all of the work that you do and the mission that you have, and anything that we can do to help you to be more successful than you already are, please don't hesitate to let us know. But this is not about me, and it's not about us right now. It's about you. And so with that, I'm going to say, George, thank you very much, and carry on.
Thank you, Jim. Would you please stand for the presentation of the colors by the Minot Civil Air Patrol cadets, the singing of the national anthem by Senior Airman Tutau, and the invocation by Chaplain Albrecht. Honor Guard, present the colors.
Colors. Attention. Hut. Carry. Colors. Forward. March. Color guard, hold. Left, haste. Present, colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we veiled at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Carry, colors. Right, haste. Forward, march.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us tonight to honor the exceptional men and women of Team Minot. We are here to celebrate their hard work, dedication, and unwavering service to our nation. We ask for your shield of protection around all who serve here at Minot, especially those deployed serving across the globe. Keep them safe from all harm and grant their families peace and strength. May our time together tonight refresh our spirits and strengthen the bonds of this community. Bless this food and all those who worked hard to prepare it. In your holy name, amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Thank you to the Civil Air Patrol. Thank you, Airman Toku, for that beautiful rendition of the national anthem. And thank you to Chaplain Albrecht for offering the invocation. We would like to honor our POW MIA members. Please direct your attention to the small table to my right. This table is set to symbolize the fact that members of our profession of arms are missing from our midst, and we must never forget their sacrifices. Just as we have served with them and depended upon them, they continue to depend upon us. In this moment and forever, may God watch over them and their families until the day they return home. Please join me in a moment of silence to honor America's prisoners of war and those still missing in action. Thank you. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce our distinguished guests. Mayor of City of Minot, the Honorable Mark Janzer. Mark. Our guest speaker, Lieutenant General Burt Field, United States Air Force retired, Air Force Heirs Association President and CEO, and his spouse, Lisa. Representing United States Senator John Hoeven, Ms. Sally Johnson. Representing United States Senator Kevin Kramer, Ms. Caitlin Waitert. Representing United States Representative Julie Fedorchak, Ms. Sadie Hansen. Commander, 91st Missile Wing, Colonel Jimmy Schlebach and his spouse, Monica. Deputy Commander, 5th Bomb Wing, Michael Taylor and his spouse, Amanda. Deputy Commander, 91st Missile Wing, Colonel Matt Crossman and his spouse, Bernadette. Command Chief, 91st Missile Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Becky Thomas. Although members of the North Dakota congressional delegation could not be in attendance tonight, they have provided a virtual greeting. First, United States Senator the Honorable John Hoeven, followed by United States Senator the Honorable Kevin Kramer. The congressional greetings will conclude with United States Representative the Honorable Julie Fedorchak.
Thank you for the invitation to your annual banquet. It's a pleasure to speak with you today. North Dakota's Air and Space Force members fulfill an essential role in our national security. Your missions are diverse and require a high degree of knowledge and skill. We need the best and brightest to take on these complex operations, from our dual nuclear missions in Minot to the space and unmanned missions in the Red River Valley. Thank you for your commitment to excellence as you work every day to keep our nation safe. As a member of the Senate Defense Appropriations Committee, I'm working to ensure you have the tools and support you need to continue being successful in your missions. We secured more than $100 million in fiscal 2026 to enhance the aerospace tech ecosystem in Grand Forks. This includes additional funding for drone and counter-drone initiatives, the Space Development Agency's LEO satellite mission, hypersonic research, and upgrades for the radar at Cavalier Space Force Station. These priorities are critical to the future of our nation's defense while making North Dakota a leader in defense research, development, and operations. At the same time, I continue working to advance our nuclear modernization programs to strengthen the missions of the Minot Air Force Base. In particular, we provided more than $5 billion over the past year for Sentinel, and we continue working with Air Force leadership on strategies to accelerate the development of the ICBM replacement. To this end, I hosted General Connor, the ICBM Modernization Director, in Minot earlier this year and have been advancing this priority with General White, the head of the Sentinel program. We also continue to fund development and procurement of the long-range standoff missile, upgrades for the B-52s, and procurement of the Grey Wolf helicopters, which will start arriving in Minot in 2027. In these and other ways, we're working to ensure our military has the capabilities it needs to effectively counter our adversaries for decades to come. Thank you again for your service to our nation and your support of these critical priorities, and best wishes for an enjoyable event. nuclear missions in Minot to the space and unmanned missions in the Red River Valley. Thank you for your commitment to excellence as you work every day to keep our nation safe. As a member of the Senate Defense Appropriations Committee, I'm working to ensure you have the tools and support you need to continue being successful in your missions. We secured more than $100 million in fiscal 2026 to enhance the aerospace tech ecosystem in Grand Forks. This includes additional funding for drone and counter-drone initiatives, the Space Development Agency's LEO satellite mission, hypersonic research, and upgrades for the radar at Cavalier Space Force Station. These priorities are critical to the future of our nation's defense while making North Dakota a leader in defense research, development, and operations. At the same time, continue working to advance our nuclear modernization programs to strengthen the missions of the Minot Air Force Base. In particular, we provided more than $5 billion over the past year for Sentinel, and we continue working with Air Force leadership on strategies to accelerate the development of the ICBM replacement. To this end, I hosted General Connor, the ICBM Modernization Director in Minot, earlier this year and have been advancing this priority with General White, the head of the Sentinel program. We also continue to fund development and procurement of the long-range standoff missile, upgrades for the B-52s, and procurement of the Gray Wolf helicopters, which will start arriving in Minot in 2027. In these and other ways, we're working to ensure our military has the capabilities it needs to effectively counter our adversaries for decades to come. Thank you again for your service to our nation and your support of these critical priorities, and best wishes for an enjoyable event. Thank you for the invitation to your annual banquet.
Hey, greetings to everybody that's gathered there. Hey, greetings to everybody that's gathered there for this year's annual awards banquet. And I'd love to be with you. It would warm my heart to be able to celebrate your amazing accomplishments over this last year with you. And I just so appreciate the sacrifice and the service that every airman, their families, certainly the veterans that you've given to the liberty of this country, and frankly, to the liberty of the world. And boy, has that been on display in a big way in these last few weeks. So thank you to all of you, and forgive us for not saying thank you nearly often enough. You know, in my seat on the Senate Armed Services Committee, and especially as the chairman of the Airland Subcommittee, I'm laser focused on Minot and frankly all of North Dakota's assets, because you all sit at the pinnacle of the defense of the country with really old equipment. And only the best airmen in the world could do what you do with the legacy systems that you're responsible for stewarding, and the very, very important systems that your mission requires. And so I'm focused on Minot because I'm focused on modernization. And you all know what's going on. You've seen, of course, the new hangar for the new replacement to the Hueys, the Gray Wolves. What a great addition that is for our security forces, and that's going to make everything better throughout the base and throughout the field. But how about those new helicopters? Can't wait. We're laser focused on getting it done and getting it done on time finally, and getting it done maybe even ahead of time. And of course, obviously, the B-52s, nothing warms my heart more than when a general comes in and tells me about the role the B-52 is playing, like yesterday or today, or I see a video, I get a video and see the MT tail go by the camera from some sort of a hobbyist at Fairford. And I think to myself, that's ours. Those are our guys. Those are our women. Those are our airmen doing that important work in the battlefield of Iran and the Middle East. And but the idea that we get to put not new planes on an engine, but new engines on that beautiful plane. And someday we'll get new ones, but for now the engines will do, and we're laser focused on that. And of course, I've been down to see them as they get outfitted with new radar. We look forward to the LRSO improvements, of course, on the plane. but it's still that legacy beast that's doing the heavy lifting, as always is the case in the big conflicts. So thank you for all of that, and we look forward to that modernization effort. Obviously, the big modernization going on right now is the replacement of the Minuteman III with the Sentinel, and I've spent a lot of time with General White. Unfortunately, couldn't get on the plane with him last week to get to Minot. Because we were locked down here in our own paralysis here in the swamp. But I'm looking forward to getting a brief from him on his return, and did get a brief here in the last few days from Admiral Carell, who loved his time in Minot. He saw some things that were, I think, even surprised him, and I was grateful for his mission and his mission brief to me when he returned. The Sentinel is just going to be something else, you guys. I've been out to Vandenberg to see the new test sites. I've been to Hill, and I went out to see the actual factory out by Hill Air Force Base, and to see the men and women, the engineers, the craftsmen, the big machine operators. And it's every bit of it impresses me. Every bit of it impresses me. When I think of the care and the mission that goes into the actual manufacturing process, it's almost as though they're an extension of you, and it just means so much. So I'm glad to see we're back on track on all of that modernization. It's going to cost a lot, and it's going to be worth every single penny of it. But all of that said, it's so great for me to be able to represent you. And more importantly, and I hope you know this, when I'm on the Armed Services Committee, you're my street cred. You're who gives me sort of the backing, and I sort of feel like I'm on your shoulders every time I'm looking at a commander or a chief across the table in my conference room or in the skiff. I feel like I'm on your shoulders talking to them about what's important. And when I travel around the world to talk about the B-52, to talk about Sentinel, to talk about the nuclear triad and your two legs and the umbrella that America provides the world, the free world, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that you've given me the credibility and the honor of being able to represent you in the United States Senate, on the Senate Armed Services Committee, and just as a public servant who sometimes feels more like an ombudsman than a legislator, but when it's time to legislate, we legislate for you. So with all of that, congratulations to everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to say a few words. I hope it's encouraging to you. It certainly is inspirational to me to know that you're there. And forgive us for not saying thank you often enough. I often tell my children, my grandchildren, we take sometimes for granted this incredible freedom of ours. But I have the opportunity on a daily basis to be reminded it's not free. So thanks for your contribution to it. Love you. God bless. Call anytime I can be helpful.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Julie Fedorchak, and I'm proud to serve as North Dakota's Congresswoman. Thank you for the opportunity to join you virtually tonight, and thank you to the Air and Space Forces Association for hosting this special event. To all of tonight's award recipients, congratulations. Your dedication and professionalism represent the very best of the United States Air Force. Minot Air Force Base plays a critical role in our nation's security. As one of the few installations supporting two legs of America's nuclear triad, the missions of the 5th Bomb Wing and the 91st Missile Wing are essential to maintaining a strong and credible deterrent. As a fourth-generation North Dakotan, I've seen for my whole life the professionalism, dedication, and expertise of the airmen who carry out this mission every day. In Congress, I remain committed to supporting Minot's mission, giving our military the resources it needs, fully funding and advancing modernization efforts for the Sentinel program, and supporting the service members and families, all of you in the room tonight, who make this work possible. Congratulations again to tonight's award recipients, and thank you to all of the airmen and families at Minot Air Force Base for your service. North Dakota is proud of you, and I'm proud to represent you in Congress.
For extending their greetings virtually to us this evening. I would also like to thank all the other civic leaders, commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, supervisors, family, and friends who have come out to support the outstanding men and women of Minot Air Force Base and our community who are being honored tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, dinner is now ready. Please allow our head tables and the 2 reserve tables to proceed through the buffet line first. We will then draw numbers. I have them right here. And I am going to accept bribes if anybody's table would like to go first. But anyway, now keep this in mind, please. We're going to go through that door, come around through, and exit right there through the buffet line. So I believe the staff is ready. So any bribes coming out? Anybody that wants to donate to this wonderful organization? Because if not, we're going to draw. So the head tables, if you would like to go, the head tables are deferring. How nice is that? That's just wonderful. Thank you, sir. Thank you. How about table number 7? Where's table 7? Look at that. Table 25.
Fantastic job. Nothing to be nervous about at all.
And table 18.
It's a good thing George knows some jokes. He might have you sing something else.
I was about to ask the same thing. I really don't know. Which side?
Hi, how are you? I was trying to get over here, and then they made me go.
Table 24.
She got taller. She got
So I can't confirm or deny.
Prices going up, but things weirder. So you're good. Okay, good. I was like, immediately. Don't worry. Iowa farmers were upset. But when does the whole process start for you guys here? Roughly. Some of the girls, they were like, we're getting her. And it's like, we moved here in June. Cornfields and yellow and stuff. It's kind of hard. And I just feel that way.
In about a week. Yeah, obviously it's not weather, but I would say it's wait for the
That's what I was
dry. And then there's still spots. Yeah.
How do the geese affect? Are they everywhere on your property? They're good. They help.
Yeah, that's why I didn't have to buy it. We throw a little feed out there in the winter, so they stop here for a while. Yeah, absolutely.
I just like see them on the side of the road and I'm like,
I will defend them. I was one of the nicest people we've had that mission.
Table 22.
15 minutes, but we got here sometimes. Totally white.
2 years ago.
Literally.
is that what I'm seeing? Because I'm seeing white ones coming out. That's crazy. We had a bird the other day and they were like spiraling down and my kids like freaked out. Like, y'all never seen a bird? I don't even know.
I wonder if that was a
Oh, they were beautiful. Are they
Cranes.
It was all
Because the
white.
cranes will.
That's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
It's in Wyoming.
Isaiah? winners deserve their name pronounced correct. You know, it's like
Table 19.
You look at my email. Timothy. Timothy is my first name. So if you look at my signature block, it says T. Tyler.
Okay. Is that what you go by?
Yeah.
It's just Timothy. I don't know if it's
That's why I say.
If I really
So I'm like, I'm horrible at something. There's so many. My daughter does it too.
Table 14.
There's nobody sitting.
I will say on Monday, people share how
And then I made the mistake of pouring it out in the email.
Table 2.
The computer sat up to take orders in our kitchen.
The Chamber of Commerce.
Everything is quiet.
She was sitting on 100 followers on Facebook, sold to her, and there's 72
I had like 250
months.
Yeah. And I got like I was really bread wise, sourdough. But I did bake and I haven't sold that stuff yet. I stick to sourdough and
Table 4.
there are other bakers out there that do extravagant things, and I'm not trying to press on that, so you know what I'm
You wouldn't watch it. Yes.
Yes, no, that time, I love but I do sometimes feel hard vacating now. It's giant.
He is not trying to
I love my car. I love my son. There's no way he's going to go back to me.
his first car would be like mine.
He's got that squirrel. I used to say, catch him on the car.
It's weird though. I think it's weird that we drive 15 to 20.
Let's start practicing our permit.
Table 8. Table 12.
But it had to be like 6 months after you got your permit. So if you didn't get your permit until you were a month before you turned 16, you're not getting your license.
Both Dave and I grew up in Harvard, and when I turned 14, I went to do my Christian test, and a week later I went to send my driver's license. And then they did change it to 16 now, but yeah, I was driving and 14, but we both grew up on farms, so we had been driving for a while, you know. Yeah.
90% of the kids are driving something with touch pedals.
So you're being tested.
Well, and they
Driving over there is not driving. Yeah, that's fine. They don't
He lives over by the Jersey.
Yeah. That's where I That base has absolutely
She wants to go back there to Fort Belmont specifically, but the only job for those days is teaching. I'm like, hey,
we would have to find. Yeah, my kids. That's probably
like I said, the farm school up to the west is great. Off base, hybrid, like my son went to school there for 2 months, and those 2 months someone was stabbed. This is true. Stabbed, and the teacher got beat up and stuff. 2 months.
And that was the school that was in Georgia, where all the like all of that and everybody knows it. So that's how that was.
Tell me that.
Like that was my favorite TX commentary. Oh my gosh. I just Starbucks there, sweet roll. Yes. Yep. And it's on the
Their shopette is the nicest shopette I've ever been to.
Oh my God, that's the cigar.
It's the nicest shopette I've ever been to.
The best wine selection I've seen since church.
It's huge. Like, I've never seen it's like one row of like chips and candy, and then the entire rest of the shopette.
One of my favorite wines since I was in church. It's so expensive everywhere else, but it is. I miss it. Yeah. I mean, that's the side thing. That's where I like kids and stuff. That's where that's what
You're on the right side of it. Everyone's on the right side of it. But if you leave the GOP, parking is right here. I filled up 3 times a year.
Table 3. Table 16. Table 20. And table 9.
Colorado. I haven't talked to him much here. I just Andrews and Jay. I don't know if but you live on base, immediately over the bridge into so we have every single thing you're supposed to do. Yeah. The fun stuff, right? That's the expectation, right? Yeah. You get a floater every year.
On base.
That's why the boss is so thrilled to go back.
You're a sucker that I saw.
Maybe. Get that Katie CFM, deputy CFM. Four bells. Our parents and DC area.
Not in a good area.
I need minimum 4 days. Not even stretching. Where are you guys at? Working on it. Oh, Chris. Like how fast you were at it, you're like, so I didn't even think of that in my head.
It's our youngest birthday. Yeah, he turns 30. So it's like,
Table 6, 23, 13.
I know.
The star of the night. So everything is sourdough, but it's bread. It's really right on the with sourdough. Oh yeah, she makes Nutella stars. It's like
I will make it. And you guys, I just made Hawaiian.
Table 10. Table 17. Table 1.
What's going on here? I won the lottery.
There's no case.
Files paper on it.
Me and Jay.
I love Sergeant Flores. From like, just like Aaron. Alien were like,
Way ahead of you guys. That's
I
feel so old. I need someone to go.
They tried showing me these films.
dude, we knew it Flores. I knew it. Not it. That's he's super sharp.
He was going to shoot. He won't tell me directly. But he's still in the dagger. Link ups. Pretty sure. I'm trying to figure out.
You need it.
You can tell me
No, he's not there. We're not there.
He's like keeping it calm and cool with a smile on his face and getting worked up.
Is the bucket gone?
When I leave, I'm looking at you.
Okay, you're not wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Table 21.
Why did you do that? Well,
Table 15. And then table 11.
I don't know if he's super serious about it. Playing with his elbow.
I've heard like 6
Your elbow sticking out of the door.
I know on a personal level. It's not like it was a passion.
He's not that two already knows this And this year we're like, you can't catch very well. So today
I
How are you?
My daughter's still I call her my middle linebacker. Second to last game last year, I realized she they tried it. So my daughter took that hard. Maybe in a couple of it should have more wrestling. It's all good fun. But I'm the guy that's don't forget that's what happened. You have to get they made a full also there are very few people that can pull off
Well, we'll see how much I'm right.
My daughter,
Brown's really high. Also, I heard her talking to her. We're going to get you
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. Please keep eating, but on behalf of the banquet tonight, I would like to give a round of applause to the staff of the JDC for doing a wonderful job with our meal tonight. Thank you. Yeah. And don't forget our bartenders, they did a good job too. Thank you again. Say, listen, please keep eating, finish your meals. We're going to take a 10-minute intermission, and then we will get started the evening with our presentations. So please, 10-minute intermission. Feel free to keep eating. Thank you.
I'm not saying that you bullied the other two. I'm just saying, awesome job of getting it done.
I
straight in and you give it back now.
That's why I do it.
That might have been I was laid up.
Big red.
Yeah, I go heavier.
It's nice.
And it was immediately after I had a DUI. I drink every
Take care, brother. Yes, sir. See you, man. Have a good night. Good to see you. See you. You got to hear the scene. I know. That's what I'm saying. Congrats.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. If I could have your attention, please. Thank you very much. Hey, we hope you enjoyed your meal tonight. We're honored to have the president of the Air and Space Forces Association as our guest speaker. Please join me in welcoming my new friend, General Burt Field, to the stage. So first of all, his bio is in your program. We have some extras up here. It's on the screen. And before I'm not going to read his bio because I have a story to tell you about him. So we met last year, and he was bragging to me about how he knows everybody. I said, that's cool, but you don't know the President of the United States. Oh yeah, he says, I know the President. I said, well, if you know him, let's have lunch with him. Sure enough, 4 months later, he and I and the President in Washington, D.C., having lunch with the President of the United States. I said, man, this is fantastic. I said, you know, you must know the President, but I bet you don't know the Pope. He says, yeah, he says, the Pope and I go back a long way. He says, we know the Pope. I said, well, I don't want to have lunch or dinner with him, but I want to go over there, and on some Sunday when he comes out to give his talk, I want you standing right beside him. No problem. 6 months go by, we're over in Rome. Look, I go out there and I look, and he's up on the front, and there's thousands of people in this courtyard, you see. And he comes out, and he looks down, and I'm laying on the ground. There's clearing, and he comes running down. He says, George, are you okay? He says, did that really shake you up when I came out standing next to the Pope? I said, no, sir, that wasn't really it. He says, what really shook me up was the guy standing next to me wanted to know who the guy in the white robe was standing next to Burt Field. Sir, you have the floor.
So have you guys met my new best friend, George? So I don't speak a lot in public, but I have obviously in my career spoken several times. I will say that I have never had an introduction quite like that. It's truly, here's how you start, for all the airmen in the room, here's how you start speeches. It's truly an honor to be here. But I got to tell you, it's really an honor to be here. So I had a speech, what I'm going to say, some remarks prepared. And then we got here and we had a dinner last night, and I go, okay, I got to change that. And then I went around and met a whole bunch of airmen, some of you in the room today. Lisa and I were lucky enough to go meet people in the 5th and the 91st. And then I threw all that away. And so now I'm not exactly sure what is going to come out of my mouth over the next few minutes, because it's all changed by you, by the impressions that I've had today. And the last, first off, I do want to thank, people that are hosting us here today. Colonel Schlabach and his wife, Colonel Taylor and his wife, Sally, Caitlin, Sadie, thank you all for coming here and sharing some time with us. Had a great discussion with the mayor over dinner. But just being at an event like this and having 2 senators and a representative talk to you on film, having their representatives in the room, having the mayor in the room. This ain't normal, folks. This is not the way it is everywhere else. You are in a very special place, in my opinion. And it's because, I'll get to this later, but the way you approach your mission and the way you view each other and the leadership of the 2 wings here, and the way that the community has embraced Minot and the mission that goes on here is just not the same as the rest of the Air Force. It's a very special place here. And I did not really understand that at all before yesterday and today. But it took me not very long to figure out how special this place is. So I would advise you to treasure your time here, because it's not always like this in other parts of the Air Force. Now that's I gotta make sure I stay positive, or my girlfriend of 45 years will yell at me later. But there's been a lot of things that have been impactful the last couple weeks. This war that's going on in Iran, and that is mainly prosecuted by airmen and guardians. Now, I get that it's a joint fight and there's lots of other involvement, but in this particular case, most of it's carried on by the Air Force and the Space Force and our intel communities. And one of the things that happened that struck me, just like it struck you, was the CSAR effort that happened last week. And I'll tell you why it struck me so much, is because in the Tet Offensive of 1968 in Vietnam, my dad was the subject of a CSAR effort because he was out flying. He was the ops officer of an F-100 squadron. He was checking out a new guy, so he's in the 2-seat F-100. He's in the back seat, and their engine quit. Now, he did not get shot down, because the world's greatest fighter pilot does not get shot down. So I'm just here to tell you that that never happened. He never got shot down, but his engine did quit. And they were so low doing a cast mission that the guy in the front went out first, and by the time my dad ejected, the plane was about in 135-degree nose and a nose down attitude, and pick a number that's less than 1,000 feet above the ground. The chute goes out sideways, or the seat goes out sideways, the chute deploys, doesn't open, grabs on a tree, slings him in a ditch, literally full of crap, literally, which saved his life, and he lands in there. So then he pulls out his trusty 38 caliber pistol, because the guys that he was just dropping bombs on have been shooting at him and the other guy on their way down. And it's not there because it's wrapped around a tree somewhere that some special forces guys found later on when they went through the area. And and then I got this story later from the FAC that was controlling them. About 3 to 4 years ago, he reached out and tracked me down, and we spent about 2 hours on the phone talking about this. He said he saw the ejection of the front seater, and he landed in a rice paddy, and he saw my dad go out sideways into the jungle, and he said, that guy's dead. And so he started working the CSAR for the front seater that was in the rice paddy. And then he said about 5 minutes later, like a Monty Python movie, here's my dad on the radio, but I'm not dead. And, I'm right here, nothing but a flesh wound. And so they ended up getting a South Vietnamese helicopter came in, drops a cable, and on the cable was one of those black balls. There's no seat, there's no sling, there's no penetrator, there's no anything else that we did in Siri. So he grabs it, wraps the cable around himself as many times as it goes, and before he even finished that, they take off. And the fact says he watched this happen, and he said he saw my dad skipping across the canopy of the jungle until they got high enough to go, because they're still shooting him. So they get them all up, about to pull him into the helicopter, but they pulled him up too high, so he had to, get lowered to pull him in. So the guy hit the button, but he forgot to hit the down button first. So his hand goes up into the winch, and it breaks his ring finger bone in his hand. And then they pull him back down and bring him back to the base, and goes to the hospital and gets a cast on his hand and flies the next day. I go, you did not fly the next day. And he goes, yeah, I did. And I go, why did you fly the next day? He goes, well, I was on schedule. And we had to fly the missions. And that's what they were like. And I said, how'd you get in the plane? And he says, well, I need a little help. Going, you need help to crawl up the ladder, but you don't think you need help to do things like push the throttle forward or any of those kinds of things. And he goes, didn't really answer the question. But I'm only telling you that story because these are the kind of things that shape me. And I watched this CSAR effort, and I'm just wondering how many people that shaped this past week. Because it's a monumental, I think, tribute to the spirit that you all possess, that we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we get this job done and that we all get it done together. And, it just, so being here with you combined with that just kind of makes this a little bit more special than it might have normally done. I will say this to the award winners. You guys are pretty spectacular. And what you've done is admirable and impressive, really impressive. But I would also say that part of it probably is because you're on a pretty good team. And in my experience, what I found out is that really impressive people generally make pretty good teams. And really impressive teams generally make pretty good people and individuals. So the performance of an individual has been linked to the performance of her team. The performance of the team is linked to the performance of the guy on the team. And that you can never forget, because nobody in this room is ever going to do anything by themselves. They're going to be part of a team, they're going to rely on others, and they're going to need those others when times are tough. So the award winners got some great support this year. And the people that didn't win the awards are part of this because of the support you gave your teammates to rise them up a little bit higher and get recognized this year. So all of you that win awards right now, I would look to your team. That team could be the one you have at home. It's the one that you have at work. It might be somebody that you only see occasionally, but the jobs are linked together. But those kind of teammates are the people that you're going to trust and be part of your lives forever. My wife Lisa and I, we still travel with members of my team from the Air Force Academy. We travel with members of our team from my first and second and third assignments. Those are the people that taught me about excellence. They taught me about being on a team. They taught me about what's important in getting the mission done. They taught me that the mission is what's important, but only really good teams and the people on those teams accomplish that mission in the best way possible. My experience here, all of 2 days at Minot, is that you are an incredibly special team. And I hope you just realize that. I have never given a talk or a discussion like this. I praise people, I do that kind of stuff, but I've never really said that and meant it like I do with you. Because you made that big of an impression on me and my wife Lisa. So it's just it's an honor to be up here. The other thing I want to talk real quickly about is the Aerospace Forces Association and what we're about. What we're about is you. We have a very simple mission, and I'm a mission guy, and everybody in here has been to some form of PME because I can tell by the stripes on your sleeves or the rank on your shoulders. And we talk about missions a lot, and missions should be very clear. They should lay out exactly what I want from you, and you understand exactly what you need to get done. Our mission is very clear. If we promote a dominant Air Force, we promote a dominant Space Force. Why? Because we think that's the foundation of national security. And for us to have great national security, we need to have that. We support airmen, guardians, and their families. And we remember and respect our heritage. Straightforward, very simple. We do it through several ways. And these are the things that I think want to tell you about what we're trying to do for you, professionally, for your family, and for people that you may not ever know. Some of the things we do is terms of education. We have a think tank that puts out great articles, studies on weapon systems, on readiness, on what's important to the Air Force, on why the Space Force needs to get more stuff or whatever. They do war games. They do exercises in space, because we can't call them war games yet, even though we know that we're going to fight in space. They do those kind of things. We have a magazine that supports that also, and that magazine puts out, and the Comms Department puts out stuff every day talking about our Air Force and our Space Force, and it cherry picks from Defense News other articles every day just to educate people and let them know what's going on. On the heritage thing, we do celebrate our heritage. Now we're here in the Jimmy Doolittle Center, and next Friday night we're going to celebrate the Doolittle Raid. So I don't know how much you all know about Jimmy Doolittle and Doolittle Raid. So he was out of the Air Force, and Hap Arnold asked him to come back in the Air Force and was working for him on some, the Freedom's Forge, essentially getting the industry back up to get ready for World War II. Pearl Harbor happens, and at the end of Pearl Harbor, the president and his cabinet and the senior leaders of the military say we have to strike back at Japan, we're just not sure how to do it. So in January, the Navy and the Army Air Corps, one of whom was Jimmy Doolittle, separately came up with got questioned, and they said, what airplane can take off from 500 feet, carry 2,000 pounds of munition, a full load of crew, fly 2,000 miles? What airplane can do that? So they narrowed that down to a B-25. Now, when the question was asked, they didn't know that they were really getting asked which bomber can take off of an aircraft carrier. But that was the question they were being asked. So at the end of January, the powers that be said, okay, here's the plan. We're going to get a bunch of, they went out and had a couple B-25s take off of a carrier. They said, okay, it can be done. Well, now we got to see whether we can take off loaded with bombs and a full crew. And that was the end of January. Ready, go. They didn't have the crews. The Hornet was still on the east coast of the United States. They didn't have all the B-25s picked out yet. And it's the end of January. April 14th, they take off of the Hornet, and they take off and go. The recruiting pitch was, I need somebody that is willing to do a really dangerous mission. That's it. So they got told, when they got out there, they said, okay, here's the deal. You're going to take off a couple hundred miles away from Japan. We're not sure exactly how far. You're going to drop bombs on Tokyo. You're going to land somewhere in China. Not exactly sure where, but we'll probably find some places. And then we'll get you out of Japanese-occupied China. Should be no problem. You can leave if you want to. Nobody left, and off they go. I'm thinking, not the most positive way to recruit, but these are the people that they were working with. So that's when we toast the Doolittle Raid, we toast the courage, we toast that fortitude, we toast the excellence, we toast innovation. That is our heritage, in which lies in the spirit you all exhibit every day in those, whether you're a missile crew or an aircraft crew, whether you're fixing an ICBM or a B-52, whether you're supporting that from afar or up close. It doesn't matter, because everybody on this team is needed to make stuff like that happen. So one of the things we do is that we celebrate our heritage. And so we live stream this. Hopefully you guys can hook up with that. And next Friday, it'll be Friday afternoon about 4, and this time about 4:45. The 4:50, we'll be toasting the Doolittle Raiders. And the really cool thing this year is we have a bunch of the kids and the grandkids there, and they have the last bottle of Hennessy that's left over from the Raiders that have been toasting for the last almost 80 years. And they said that they want to give that bottle to the Midnight Hammer crews that did the Midnight Hammer mission over Iran. So we're going to get those folks out there, and we're going to have them there for this toast, and it's going to be pretty cool. General Kane is going to provide the toast. General Wilsbach is going to give a little speech before that, and then we're just going to cheer the Doolittle Raiders. So we have this membership option these days. It's complimentary. I did it right. I have this I work with a woman named Gail Remy, and she just yells at me if I say it's free, so it's complimentary. And there's a QR code on your table, and all you need to do is sign up, and we'd love to have you as part of the team, because our mission essentially is to make you amazing. You guys already have, you know, amazing organizations. You have amazing teams. We want you to have a little bit more amazing equipment, and that's what we're trying to do. But we also want to equip you with as much as we can, knowledge-wise, awareness-wise of what's going on around the Air Force or Space Force. And we want you to see what other opportunities there are in terms of scholarships for your spouses or your children, grants. We have STEM competitions for kids in high school that are spectacular, and a couple other things that go on. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, it's a pretty good price. I will leave it at that and just say I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight and to be part of your celebration, because you guys are a special group, and being around you has really made me feel like our Air Force is in such good hands. I can't thank you enough for giving me that feeling. It's not surprising. What I loved about it is that the way you guys do it here, and the way that you take on these missions and connect with each other and your local community. So thanks very much, and now let's give all the award winners some awards. Well, thank you, sir. Let's see, I need Tom to come to the podium, please. Jim, our chapter president, Jim Bowman, please come forward. So listen, here's a key ingredient that I'd like to please ask you. When we announce an award winner, please hold your applause until the end of them receiving their plaque and going. Please hold that applause. Rod here is going to take pictures for the Northern Sentry. And keep in mind, if you have family that might be around the countryside or anywhere, that this is live streamed and will be on a YouTube channel. How long?
Up right now.
Up right now, how about that? So I don't want to see any of you going to YouTube, because I'd like you to watch what actually happens. So with that, I think we're ready. I need to know if these flags are in the proper position for the photos. Do we need to move them in a little bit? Okay. Please tell me where. Is this one okay? All righty. Okay, I think we're ready to kick this off. Tom, if you would start, please. We are ready to present our first award.
From the 5th Security Forces Squadron, Senior Airman Caitlin Ryan. Senior Airman Ryan demonstrated exceptional organizational acumen by streamlining high-level access for the Undersecretary of the Air Force and the Commander, U.S. STRATCOM, enabling critical groundwork for 2 new strategic weapon systems. Her decisive leadership in certifying 85 defenders in just 96 hours directly contributed to her section winning the prestigious U.S. STRATCOM Cross-Functional Team Award. Senior Airman Ryan.
How about that? So before we go to the next one, as we know, Colonel Lamran could not be here. He's at Barksdale. And he says to George, please tell our award winners that I'm so proud and appreciative of their hard work and sacrifice, that I'm honored to serve on this team with them, that during these difficult times they have set the example for disciplined and dedicated excellence that enabled us to project combat power across the globe and to take care of each other. It's Colonel Lamran.
So I have his number if anybody has any car warranty issues we want to send him. All righty. 5th Healthcare Operations Squadron Senior Airman Angelina Hansler. Senior Airman Hansler has distinguished herself as a superior performer and leader, consistently providing an exemplary level of patient care with profound skill and compassion. She devotedly volunteered for critical squadron support roles, upholding the health and wellness of her fellow airmen. Also, her vital support as an immunization backup technician, she has been a significant force multiplier, directly contributing to the overall operational readiness of the wing. Senior Airman Angelina Hansler.
From the 91st Missile Wing Inspector General, Captain Matt Rogers. Captain Rogers was integral in the 91st Missile Wing's first combat readiness exercise, preparing the wing to execute mission-essential tasks in a contested and degraded operational environment. Additionally, he surveyed 14 unit self-assessment programs, ensuring alignment with the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff priorities, Captain Rogers.
From the 742nd Missile Squadron, 1st Lieutenant Evelyn McCoy. As the unit's point of contact for Operation Olympic Step, Lieutenant McCoy demonstrated outstanding leadership by remediating a critical P-12 breach, securing essential records across 2 separate groups. Her exceptional work in leading the 2025 Sentinel Dragon timing study was lauded as the highest levels, earning praise from the 20th Air Force, U.S. STRATCOM, and Global Strike Command. 1st Lieutenant Evelyn McCoy.
From the 5th Civil Engineer Squadron, Staff Sergeant Samuel Smith. As a cornerstone of the team, Staff Sergeant Smith's decisive leadership was critical in orchestrating the rapid restoration of a vital fire suppression system, directly ensuring the safety of dozens of personnel and high-value strategic assets. His expert management of a complex dual-wing project culminated in a landmark achievement that significantly enhances the security and capability of the nation's missile enterprise. Staff Sergeant Smith.
From the 5th Comptroller Squadron Financial Operations Team. The financial operations flight proved essential to wing readiness by forging the financial path for a historic CCMD deployment and safeguarding hundreds of warfighters during the government shutdown. Their relentless drive to modernize operations, recovering significant funds, and catapulting their unit's ranking from number 7 to number 2 in customer service and pay timeliness. Financial Operations Team.
From the 5th Munitions Squadron, Staff Sergeant Joseph Johnson. Displaying profound leadership, Staff Sergeant Johnson led his team to complete a vital missile modification 2 months ahead of schedule, directly ensuring critical U.S. STRATCOM operational readiness. His commitment to mentorship was equally impactful as he devoted over 300 hours to training, certifying 3 new crew chiefs. During GT-25, his meticulous inspection uncovered 5 critical defects, safeguarding 42 personnel and enabling 79 combat sorties. Staff Sergeant Johnson.
So some of these folks could not be here tonight because of a deployment or other issues, so we will see that they receive their plaques, but we agreed to recognize them in front of all of you. From the 5th Support Squadron, Ms. Suzanne Larson. Suzanne is a military and family readiness flight chief at Minot Air Force Base, leading a team of 17 civilian and military professionals who deliver 13 essential readiness and support programs for the 12,000 member community. Suzanne ensures that every airman and family member has a place to turn, resources to rely on, and a champion in their corner. Her leadership strengthens the human side of the mission, making Minot not just a base, but a community. Ms. Suzanne Larson.
From the 5th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Tech Sergeant Chelsea Espinoza. As a critical non-commissioned officer, Technical Sergeant Espinoza's expert oversight as quality section lead was instrumental in safeguarding Team Minot's flying hours program and saving the unit over $44,000. Her exceptional leadership and dedication to personal and professional growth culminated in her earning multiple awards, most notably being named the 5th LRS Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year. Technical Sergeant Espinoza.
You gotta love it. From 23rd Bomber Generation Squadron, Senior Airman Owen Anderson. During the high-stakes exercise Global Thunder, Senior Airman Anderson demonstrated exceptional leadership as a sole vouching authority, flawlessly guiding his team and earning high praise from leadership for his efforts. His superior performance and dedication directly led to his recognition as a superior performer and his selection for Senior Airman below the zone. Furthermore, he served as a key representative for the 5th Maintenance Group, showcasing vital B-52 combat capabilities to the broader Minot Air Force Base community. Senior Airman Owen Anderson.
From the 5th Operations Support Squadron, Technical Sergeant Joseph Berner. Technical Sergeant Joseph Berner is the missions NCOIC of the 5th OSS's weather flight, where he oversees global weather for forecast production for the B-52 and UH-1, as well as 150 ICBM launch facilities, enabling dual mission generations for both nuclear and conventional operations. He superbly served as acting flight chief. He guided his team through critical real-world operations, prepared 2 airmen for deployment, and overhauled 56 flight procedures for a major system upgrade. His expert management of $3.7 million in weather equipment ensured data accuracy across 8.5 million acres, safeguarding over $5 billion in Department of War assets. Technical Sergeant Joseph Berner.
On their heads!
From the 91st Maintenance Group, Tech Sergeant Adam Hall. Tech Sergeant Hall's meticulous attention to detail and profound expertise are foundational to mission readiness as he upholds the highest standards for critical nuclear certified and life support equipment. His leadership was pivotal in restoring a vital Minuteman III transport capability across 3 wings, directly impacting strategic deterrence. Furthermore, his reputation as a premier subject matter expert is so trusted that he was handpicked to augment the Wing Inspector General, enforcing rigorous maintenance standards and ensuring the integrity of the entire enterprise. Tech Sergeant Adam Hall.
From the 91st Missile Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Christopher Hermosillo. Technical Sergeant Hermosillo help me out here. Exemplified, thank you, George. Throw a joke on that. Exceptional character, competence, and credibility as production superintendent. His efforts increased production levels across 5 work centers, and he is the go-to leader for complex sustainment and experience challenges. As handling team expediter, he is a trusted advisor who directs airmen to safely handle and transport Minuteman III boosters. He is key to high-performing teams that generate combat capability. Technical Sergeant Hermosillo.
From the 91st Operations Support Squadron, Staff Sergeant Richard Bushayan. As the NCOIC of the ICBM Combat Crew Communications, Staff Sergeant Mushian's exceptional work ethic and positive attitude directly propelled his team to be named the Professional Team of the Quarter for the first quarter of 2025. His personal commitment to excellence was further showcased by his earning of both a Distinguished Graduate and Academic Awards at the Airman Leadership School. Staff Sergeant Richard Moshian.
From the 5th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Master Sergeant Danielle Keeley. Master Sergeant Keeley is a leader of leaders who oversees the base operational medicine clinic's daily operations and a team of 17 officers, enlisted personnel, and civilian professionals. She is the go-to subject matter expert for the wing inspection team and led the charge to revitalize the annual health review program for 3 clinics. Master Sergeant Keeley has been coined with the title Unofficial Mayor of Minot. We know the Mayor of Minot, due to her community outreach and involvement in advocacy for the Minot Chamber of Commerce. Master Sergeant Danielle Keeley.
So earlier when we had that glitch with when Senator Hoeven interrupted me when I was getting ready to tell you a joke, I'm going to tell you about this lady that she was walking down the street going to church one night, right? And she goes down, she looks down this alcove of this pet store, and this parrot's in there, and the parrot looks at her and says, "You're ugly." Whoa, boy, she got offended, but the next night she figures out that won't happen, goes down there, looks down the alcove, sure enough, there's a parrot. "You're ugly." Well, the 3rd night it did it, boy, she got mad and she stormed in. "I want to see the manager," and all this, and the guy comes, "What's the problem?" "That parrot down there said offensive things to me, and I'm going to take you to court. I can't stand that." He said, "Listen, I've had that parrot for 12 years. He won't say it again. I'll have a talk with him tonight." "We better not." So the next night she's walking down, she looks down the alcove, and the parrot looks at her and says, "You know." So anyway, how about from the 5th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Master Sergeant Danielle Keeley.
Next one, George.
You got me all excited. You know. From the 5th Bomb Wing, Senior Airman Kyle Wilson. Senior Airman Wilson is a high-performing airman who was handpicked for a bomber task force deployment where he created numerous unique products reaching a massive global audience. Operating above his rank, he filled a senior leadership role, skillfully managing a limited budget to execute a large-scale event that strengthened civic partnerships. His innovative resource management drove a significant increase in sortie support, drastically cutting production timelines and earning him top honors, including a Group Airman of the Year and Air Force Global Strike Command Communicator of the Year. Senior Airman Kyle Wilson, and let's see, we have a little mix-up. We will get it, but I think accepting this is...
I'm Lieutenant Kegels. I'm accepting this on Senior Airman Wilson's behalf.
Okay, great. So we will get this figured out. We will see that this gets straightened out.
From the 23rd Bomb Squadron, Captain Rylan Maggs Millspaugh. Captain Millspaugh's leadership was pivotal in ensuring squadron combat readiness. His piloting expertise was proven on numerous high-stakes missions supporting global strategic objectives. Furthermore, his initiative drove him to single-handedly modernize the in-flight guide for the entire B-52 enterprise, a critical overhaul that directly enhanced the lethality and effectiveness of every aircrew. Captain Rylan Maggs Millspaugh.
From the 5th Medical Group, Tech Sergeant Juliana Tips. Julie has demonstrated exceptional leadership and initiative by significantly improving the readiness and efficiency of the 5th Medical Group and the 5th Bomb Wing. She directs deployment operations, UTC preparation, and health readiness for all personnel. Her drive for process improvement, developing people, and mission execution has been a cornerstone for not only her success, but the success of the 5th Medical Group. Tech Sergeant Juliana Tips.
From the 54th Helicopter Squadron, Captain Tyler Hartman. Captain Hartman flawlessly executed his duties as mission commander during a gunnery trip to Brandon, Canada. He employed 55,000 rounds of ammunition and trained aircrew qualifications on a complex weapons system. He expertly leads the largest flight in the 54th, providing daily mentorship and guidance across 3 sections. Furthermore, Captain Hartman exemplified his dedication through his recent graduation from the rigorous Stryker Intermediate Leadership course. Captain Tyler Hartman.
From the 5th Communications Squadron, Staff Sergeant Travis Edwards. Staff Sergeant Edwards swiftly repaired a critical server loop. His prompt response corrected a massive data backlog and averted a major base outage. He proved his superb leadership capability as head of the Continuous Process Improvement Team, customizing auto patches and rebuilding 2 computer imaging servers, reducing computer downtime from 15 days to 6, linking maintenance systems to technical order data, and supporting 28 B-52 sorties. Staff Sergeant Travis Edwards.
From the 5th Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Andrew Smith, exemplifying the highest ideals of the Air Force. Technical Sergeant Smith's leadership of 103 technicians resulted in a 42% reduction in B-52 inspection timelines, powerfully aligning his team with Air Force Global Strike Command's strategic goals. Beyond the flight line, he demonstrated a profound commitment to his fellow airmen, providing pivotal mentorship to over 400 personnel and promoting the Department of War's largest ever mental health study. Technical Sergeant Smith.
We fixed the bus.
Blow shit up.
From the 741st Missile Squadron, Major Damian Proctor. Major Proctor has demonstrated great leadership prowess by coordinating 91 Missile Wing Crisis Action Team throughout various exercises and real-world incidents. He aspires to be a pillar of the community, paying respect to Minot civilians, active duty, and retirees through events like the North Dakota Honor Flight and Minot's Prairie Warrior Auction. Major Damian Proctor.
From the 791st Maintenance Squadron, Technical Sergeant Rachel Yerian. Sergeant Yerian led 4 work centers to manage $12 million in nuclear certified equipment, as well as 78 vehicle assets. She oversaw several critical repair projects to restore vehicle systems, leading to 4,000 dispatches and 59 Protection Level 1 convoys that ensured secure transport of the ICBM arsenal. Lastly, Technical Sergeant Yerian liaised with the Air Force Materiel Command to repair 7 security system data tools, resolving a 2-year equipment shortage, restoring site security capabilities. Technical Sergeant Yerian.
From the 5th Mission Support Group, Tech Sergeant Ashley Booker. As the Mission Support Group Executive, Technical Sergeant Booker expertly managed requirements for 2,100 airmen across 6 squadrons, directly leading the group to earn the outstanding 44 awards at Air Force, Command, and Wing levels. Furthermore, as President of Team Minot's 5-6 Council, she spearheaded new initiatives that drove the deliberate development of over 3,000 junior enlisted personnel. Tech Sergeant Ashley Booker. From the 91st Security Forces Group,
Staff Sergeant Joseph Baker. Staff Sergeant Baker expertly led 14 teams, providing critical airborne precision engagement capabilities to secure vital nuclear convoy movements. His meticulous attention to detail directly influenced his selection for a critical role in standardizations and evaluations. In this position, he now leads the 91st Security Forces Group's Inspector General Evaluation Management System, ensuring the integrity and readiness of over 300 programs across the group. Staff Sergeant Baker.
From the 69th Bomb Squadron, Captain Kyle Monk Zenner. Captain Zenner's leadership was foundational to the squadron's global combat readiness, while his expert planning was critical to the Bomber Task Force's capability to project U.S. strategic influence and reinforce key alliances. Furthermore, he revitalized the Wing's Incentive Flyer program, mentoring top performers and executing a high-visibility flight that powerfully showcased the global reach of Air Force Global Strike Command. Captain Kyle Monk Zenner.
Returning to the stage, from the 91st Missile Security Forces, Airman First Class Isaiah Tutau. As a dedicated defender of our nation's strategic assets, Airman First Class Tutau's performance across 12 demanding missile field deployments was nothing short of exceptional, securing 165 nuclear facilities over an 8,500 square mile area. Beyond his primary duties, he greatly bolstered esprit de corps by headlining 5 major military ceremonies as either the MC or national anthem singer, inspiring all with his profound dedication and talent. Airman First Class Tutau.
Eddie sings pretty.
From the 705th Munition Squadron, Senior Airman Brendan Ledford. Demonstrating unparalleled expertise, Senior Airman Ledford was instrumental to our nation's strategic deterrence, flawlessly executing 2 joint DOW and DOE shipments. He meticulously secured the transfer of 162 mission-critical nuclear components, a vital action that directly enables the 5th Bomb Wing to support over half of the nation's active nuclear stockpile and ensures the security of our nation. Senior Airman Brandon Ledford.
From the 219th Security Forces Squadron, Major Brian Ludwig. Major Ludwig is an exceptional leader who commanded a 120 airman unit through the government furlough in the absence of a squadron commander. He also conducted 6 major exercises and supported 78 convoy movements, enabling the 119th Wing Air Force Outstanding Unit Award. Major Ludwig.
From the 891st Missile Security Forces Squadron, Tech Sergeant Austin Flores. As a driven and inspirational leader, Technical Sergeant Flores' tactical expertise was pivotal in advancing the skills of hundreds of defenders during a vital cold weather defender course. He further forged a superior fighting force by coordinating complex, integrated training that embedded tactical response force and helicopter operations with missile field defenders. His dedication was instrumental in elevating the tactical mastery and combat readiness of all involved. Tech Sergeant Austin Flores.
From the 5th Operations Group, Master Sergeant Corey Coster. As First Sergeant, Master Sergeant Coster oversaw the well-being of 380 airmen. As Bomber Task Force Deployment Lead, he guided 218 airmen from from 27 Air Force specialty codes to execute basic communications and logistics support, enabling 28 sorties across 2 global exercises while qualifying 57 aircrew as combat mission ready. He also instructed 160 first-term airmen on the United States Air Force core values, while also collaborating with the 5th Medical Group to design and implement processes that propelled Minot's Medical Evaluation Board timeline from number 83 to number 1 in the Air Force. Master Sergeant Koster.
From the 791st Missile Security Forces Squadron, Senior Airman Deshaun Smith. Deshaun Smooth Smith spearheaded a major training overhaul that streamlined 190 tasks and saved 56 hours of training time. His leadership and volunteer efforts earned him the Volunteer of the Third Quarter Award and a promotion to Senior Airman below the zone. Smooth!
From the 5th Maintenance Group, Senior Airman Dominic Fernandez. As a master technician and instructor, Senior Airman Fernandez created and led a vital course, certifying 28 personnel on over 2,000 core tasks. His skills saved the Air Force $6.6 million by repairing 3 condemned engines, avoiding critical operational delays. Hand-selected for his expertise, he advised Boeing engineers on the design of the new F-130 engine, shaping the future of Air Force propulsion. Senior Airman Dominic Fernandez.
From the 91st Missile Security Operations Squadron, Staff Sergeant Nathan Felsch. Staff Sergeant Felsch manages almost $9 million in arms, ammunition, and equipment inventory. Most importantly, Nate has overcome obstacles throughout his career and utilized those moments to personally mentor 7 airmen that were battling mental health or physical ailments, helping them to return to their units as strong airmen. Staff Sergeant Nathan Felsch.
Boys for peace, prepare for war! SFG! Defenders!
From the 91st Operations Group, Captain Reed Lamey. Captain Lamey demonstrated exceptional leadership by directing 32 evaluations, coordinating Commander's Inspection Management Board, and executing multiple group exercises. He created a new inspection program with air-free tracking tools, while also mentoring 6 new evaluators. Captain Reed Lamey.
From the 69th Bomber Generation Squadron, Senior Airman Calvin Kirk. Demonstrating leadership far beyond his rank, Senior Airman Kirk shouldered the responsibility of 2 NCOs, expertly managing over 1,500 administrative actions for 300 airmen. His initiative to create a new onboarding guide slashed in-processing errors by 95%, earning him Airman of the Quarter. Embodying the mission-ready airman concept, he became qualified on B-52 launch procedures and launched 2 aircraft in direct support of Operation Southern Spear. Senior Airman Calvin Kirk.
From the 740th Missile Squadron, Captain Joseph Cambio. Captain Joseph Slim Cambio is the epitome of a selfless officer, tackling every critical task without hesitation to inspire excellence. He single-handedly revived the 740th Standardization and Evaluation Office, making him fully deserving of this award. Captain Joseph Slim Cambio.
From the 91st Missile Maintenance Squadron Generation Flight. Accepting on behalf of this flight is so I don't have their last name correct, and I apologize. It's Lieutenant something Rivera and Lieutenant Zadeb. Are they here? Here they come. Generation Flight is the largest flight in the wing, leading maintenance production. The 91st MMXS drove a full Minuteman III reposture and returned 125 sorties to fully mission-capable status. The 91st MMXS efforts was key to the wing's best NSI in 6 years. In addition, they also captured the 2025 Air Force Global Strike Command Maintenance Effectiveness Award. The Generation Flight.
Another job! Done right!
And concluding tonight's awards to our most outstanding airmen and teams of the 5th Bomb Wing and the 91st Missile Wing. From the 5th Contracting Squadron, Airman First Class Megan Harrison. As president of the Airmen's Dorm Council, Airman First Class Harrison spearheaded a transformative initiative that significantly enhanced the well-being and morale of 1,100 airmen during the year's most demanding season. In her inaugural year of contracting, she expertly managed high-impact projects that directly boosted esprit de corps across the entire base, including the B-52 model installation and a vital contract for sporting officials. Airman First Class, Megan Harrison.
That's embarrassing. Hey, listen, we have 2 more awards. I'm going to ask, I think Jim Simmons has the readers for a recruiter, and there's one other, I think, are here. Let's just figure this out. Yes, this one. So the Civil Air Patrol for Cadet Senior Airman Jean DeHaan. Is she here?
Yeah, but he texted those to you before we started.
He texted them to me before we started, so my apologies, I don't have them.
Well, then we'll fix it.
We will fix it. So how many ever tried to run one of these banquets and not have a guffaw? So the first one does go to Cadet Senior Airman Jean DeHaan from the Civil Air Patrol's Magic City Composite Squadron, and she is here. So we will present this to you. Table. So is there anyone here from the recruiter squadron? Yes, Staff Sergeant Nicholas Richardson, would you please come forward? I apologize that I did not read it off of my phone. That's all right, he says. He's a good recruiter. He must be, or he wouldn't be winning this award, so thank him for what he's doing.
Your recruiting station is the tops in the Air Force. Yeah, we're number 1.
Number 1 in the Air Force. So Tom, I thank you very kindly for doing what you did tonight, and I'm going to introduce Jim Simmons, our AFA State President, to present 2 national awards. Correct, Jim?
Yes, sir.
Every year we go to Washington, D.C. for our national convention, and the chapters throughout the nation are eligible to nominate people for national awards. And last year, 2 of our members were approved nationally. And the first one is for a Medal of Merit, which is very similar to an Air Force Achievement Medal. And the recipient is James Bowen. And we have presented these earlier at one of our meetings, but these people are so impressive, we had to recognize them again in front of y'all. The next award is an Exceptional Service Award, which is like going from an Air Force Achievement Medal to an Air Force Commendation Medal. And we're presenting this to George Masters.
Right, George.
Thank you, sir. This next award, I've been doing this for over 30 years, and we've never done one of these before. It's a fellowship award from AFA, and it's money donated by the chapter to recognize one of their chapter members. And we raised $1,000, sent it to AFA so they can do like Teachers of the Year, spouse scholarships, things like that. And these fellowships were created back in the 70s. General Goldwater established it, and the first recipient was Jo Doolittle, the wife of Jimmy Doolittle. So this is a pretty impressive award. First time ever, and we are presenting this for lifetime service to Master Sergeant Ronald Garcia, U.S. Air Force retired.
All right, Ron.
And it's customary to make a donation to your guest speaker, and our chapter has donated $200 to the AFA Wounded Warrior Fund. And based upon what's going on, it's great that we're getting more money donated to wounded airmen. God bless every one of them. So again, $200 in your name, sir.
Thank you. I believe that ends your time on the stage. We thank you for your aren't you glad? Before we conclude this evening's awards banquet, I'd like to thank Colonel Lamran and Colonel Schleboff for their continued support and for recognizing our award sponsors. I know there are a few community partners and award sponsors in the audience tonight. Please stand and be recognized. Don't be bashful. Please stand. Our committee and award our civilian sponsors. Ron? Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you again, General and Mrs. Field, for taking time to be here with us this evening, and General Field for sharing your story. The Air and Space Forces Association salutes all the team and individual award winners. Thanks again for your continued support of our military superstars and the association. On behalf of the General David C. Jones chapter of the Air and Space Force Association, we'd like to present you with this bully stick. If you would come up, sir, please. We have something for you, and it's smaller than normal because this you can get in your luggage and not get bounced off the plane. Okay, I've seen a real bully stick. I started as the president of AFA on the 1st of April. My friends find that very poetic and justified. They're gonna love this. That's great. So in the years past, I've taken an opportunity to play a short video of something I just love, and I hope you will enjoy this as I do. If there's a way we could turn the lights down in here, that would be fine. If not, it's not the end of the world. But hope you enjoy this.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause this flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. To the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, flying down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our evening. We sure hope you enjoyed it. Please drive safely. If anyone is impaired at all, we will certainly give you a ride. Enjoy the evening. Thanks for coming. Look forward to next year, the 43rd annual. Have a good night.